Once upon a time, I had a 2019 86 GT. Loved it, but it had no power. Gave it up. Now I've got the GR86. I love it. Matter of fact, I kind of think it looks a little bit like my wife's Jaguar. Interesting. Here we go. Hey, hello, how are you? Welcome to Road Odyssey. Hope y'all are doing great today. I am Bert. Please subscribe down below. I would appreciate that very much. And this is maybe a long drawn out story, but I had a 86 GT and it was great, except it had no power. I really didn't like it. It was a 2019 86 GT. So I was hearing that the next generation, which is here now, would probably be better on the power realm, as well as probably several other things. So I unloaded the 86 GT, and now my hopes came true. I did finally get the brand new GR86 2022, and I am very happy with it. This was a long haul in order for me to pick up this new car, and so here is my rather complex story. Here we go. My story begins with looking at all the cars that we've had since 2016. Now, bottom left corner, the Dodge pickup and the Lexus SUV. I ended up unloading them, and that money had gone towards the GT86 and some of these other cars. Again, back around 2019, 2020, I did this GT86 review. Here are just a few beauty shots of the car and when it was a part of the lineup, which you'll see my wife has the yellow Camaro and the 2000 C5 Corvette. On the bottom right hand corner, that's the wife's car. The 2000 Corvette and the 2013 Camaro. Well, both of those ended up going away to the F-Type. First off, the 2000 Corvette went to a friend, gave it to him for free, but he felt bad. He gave us a couple of grand. Then the Camaro, we traded that in for the F-Type. So the little bit of money from my friend and trading in the Camaro went towards the F-Type. Let's look at the history of the GT86 in 2019. Had that car for 1 year. And here's another video with it where I did the first year review. Now, my problems with this car, even though I loved it, was it was just slow. It had that stupid torque dip. I never tuned it, didn't get headers or anything like that. I didn't really want to mess with the car that much and pump money into it. It was my daily. So I didn't like the backup camera as well being in the rear view mirror. It was tiny. And just not thrilled with the mapping. I never did really try to use my iPhone or anything like that. So just certain reasons I wasn't thrilled with that car, and it got traded in for the C7 base Corvette, which was beautiful, tons of carbon fiber. Now, I had the C7 2016, bought it in 2020, trading in the GT86, and I enjoyed that car very much. Now, I knew I was going to unload the C7. It was a stopgap measure waiting on the C8. I sold the C7 for almost the same amount that I bought it for because these things were increasing in value no matter the mileage. Anyway, I ordered the C8, waited over 10 months to get the C8, finally got it, and the money from the C7 went into the C8. And right out of the box, I loved the C8. This is by far my most fun car. I have lots of videos on my C8 observations. So yeah, this is my #1 fun car. That made my C6 my daily driver. And I really didn't like it as a daily driver, and I don't need a lot of Corvettes. One Corvette is plenty for me. Now, the Corvette, the C6, the bell housing was leaking a little bit, just not a lot, just a tiny bit, Headlight lenses were bad. The sills on them were broken. The front bumper needed a little bit of work. It had a lot of rock chips and stuff. I tore off the license plate, so that little area right there needed touching up. It had over 109,000 miles, and it was just very, very low. The headers would actually hit stuff in the ground, so I'm constantly having to read the road, and that just gets really tiresome, especially when the car became more of a daily driver. Paint was getting bad, not the greatest gas mileage. If I wanted to fix up that car, I had to pump in probably another 10K into it that I just really would rather put into a new car. I looked into the pricing of the GR86. This is all kind of happening at the same time now. And I saw, well, the base price is somewhere around $28,000. The premium's around really 31, 32, whatever. I thought, okay, cool. And they are coming out, like this car and driver review. The GR86 just had a million, scads of fantastic reviews. Virtually nothing wrong with it, depending on your flavor, of course. But really and truly, even the warranty and maintenance coverage was really good for this car. And here's US News. They gave it a very high ranking as well. And let's see, just the pros and cons were just fantastic. They talk about, cramped back seats. Well, no duh. It's a sports car. Kelley Blue Book, it gave it tons of really good reviews and input on the car as well. Their cons, the cons are cons. They're dumb cons, no big deal. And recalls, no recalls whatsoever. And its rating compared to other cars, I don't know why here they compared it to the Subaru BRZ. That was kind of weird, but nonetheless, it compared well to the Camaro and the Mustang. They did not compare it to the Miata. That's what I would have liked to have seen in place of the Subaru BRZ. But nonetheless, it got a pretty decent comparison rating. So after all my research, I decided back in October of 2021, I would go to Clint at the Paris Toyota up by me, Paris, Texas, Toyota. And this is Clint, really super nice guy. He immediately put my name on the list for, a GR86. Now, getting back to the C6, Kurt Winters of the Kurt Winters YouTube channel, really super nice guy. Ran into him at a cruise-in. He was interested in buying the C6, but ultimately it was Donnie who has been recently working hand in hand with Main Street Motors. So I knew that the GR86, even the base model, was going to cost a cool $28,000 easy. Now, what happened was when I ordered it from Toyota of Paris was they were selling it for $31,500 basically. So there was a markup on this by, almost $3,000. Let's just call it $3,000 at the worst. So that is not bad in this day and age. So perfectly fine to me to ultimately pay the balance of $33,800 basically. Got the car home, and you know what? It is my daily driver, my YouTube car. No, it does not have window tinting because when I am taking photographs and video clips from the car, I want the windows to be clear. While I have this fairly extensive list of all the things that I like about the GR86, let me just repeat some of the things that interested me the most. Number one, inexpensive. Number two, naturally aspirated. 3, the torque dip is gone. It is a lot faster. Power comes in at about 34 to 4,000 RPM. So yes, it is faster. It still has the ability to be highly modified. But at this moment, the aftermarket items are still being worked on. It's a little bit questionable as to what you can and cannot get at the moment. For example, I looked up getting street performance rotors. I can't get any. I can wait about a month to get what I want, but things like that are a little bit difficult at the moment. The interior is also very nice, regardless as to whether or not you get the base or the premium. Furthermore, the console display is a lot bigger and it's better. I have hooked in my iPhone to it, and I just love using my phone through that center console display. It is fantastic. I also like that the front vents and those side vents behind the front tires, they are fully functional. And since I do a lot of back road driving in East Texas, mountain driving up in Oklahoma and Arkansas, this is really important to me to have the brakes be able to breathe and cool off. Here I am doing a walk around, and I just wanted to illustrate kind of how similar these two cars are on the outside at the very least. The front ends are extremely similar. Now, the GT86 also had that little vent behind the front wheels, same as the F-Type. But anyhow, the back slope is almost the exact same. Take off the little duck bill, the GR86, and those two rear ends would be fairly identical. Now, of course, the exhausts are a little different, but the sizing and all of that is fairly similar. The proportions, I guess you would say. And here again, I do like the bottom aerodynamics going up from the front wheels to the back wheels. I really like that as well. That is a cool feature. Almost looks like the C8 Corvette to a degree. So, the front ends, like I said, the headlights, all that, very similar in nature. I love it. All right, that'll do it for this video. And I hope you understand my point in making this video. It is primarily to illustrate that, while myself or anybody like me might be able to go out and just buy a car willy-nilly and not even thinking about it, well, this shows you that I do plan ahead and I try to keep my finances in order, and I don't like having too many cars to have to pay insurance for and to keep up, and that's really it. It's all about planning. And the second thing that I hope you enjoyed was a odd occurrence of seeing that the Jaguar F-Type and the GR86 have some similar body designs or characteristics. And I just thought that was kind of a cool thing to show you. So anyway, with that, relax, take it easy, and I will see you later. Bye. Hopefully in my next video on the GR86, I'll go over the manuals, Apple CarPlay, navigation, break-in period, gasoline, jacking, and who knows what else.